The Cleveland Cavaliers, with the 49th pick, choose who? Demetrius Smith. It's at the Barclays Center tonight in Brooklyn. The Cavs traded the first-round pick in that Karis LeVert deal. And then because of the Donovan Mitchell trade, they don't have their own first-round pick in 2025, 2027, or 2029. So I hope you're taking notes, because once we get that 7-year span past us, it's going to be days of wine and roses after that. But that should be exciting tonight if you're going to be watching. In Brooklyn. Are there, I don't even know if there are names bandied about once you get to 49th overall.
Not really.
Right? They just, I mean, they go, who do we have? Because they need a lot more help than one pick. Don't they? The Cavaliers right now?
A lot more help than one
49th
pick, yes. They need some...
but they usually stink. What happened?
Shooting.
They got in the playoffs? Is that what it is?
They got in the playoffs. I mean, they're good. They're just not all the way there yet, but they also have a very young team. So there's a lot of people that are panicking. I think I'm okay with the players that they have. They need to add another shooter, but I think they're going to be all right, and they're going to develop, and it's going to be fine.
A second shooter?
Like a grassy knoll guy.
Alan, they could draft that dude that's never played basketball. Yeah, did you see that kid?
Who's that?
Some dude who exploited a loophole in the NBA draft. A dude named Jordan Haber. He's 21. He's a TikToker. He just graduated from the University of Florida, and he's never played basketball in high school or college. But he filled out the paperwork, and so he got an email from the NBA that he's eligible to be selected in tonight's draft.
That's hilarious.
He emailed the NBA to inform them that he met the criteria because he poured over the collective bargaining agreement. He's like, I was just really bored one day. And there's a loophole on page 273. And he says, all it says to be eligible is you have to be at least 19 years old and a recent college graduate. So he hit up the NBA. And he goes, hey. He said, most people just don't want to do the paperwork because it's a big pain in the ass. He's like, and that's all it is, though. So I filled out the paperwork, and he, on TikTok, shows the official email response from the NBA that he is on the list of approximately 300 eligible draft prospects. Is there any scenario in which you see the Cleveland Cavaliers grabbing Jordan Haber with the 49th overall pick? We need some wing help. But again, he never played at the high school or collegiate level. But he is a member of the 2023 NBA draft class. I imagine they will sew that loophole up after this whole thing. But 7:30 tonight is when the draft will start, live in Brooklyn. And this guy is 58 picks. You know, you're in the home stretch once they get to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They could pick this guy. Sight unseen.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great pick.
Be funny, though, if he set it up so that he's just like posting him sitting with his family, like waiting.
Just waiting for the call.
Waiting for the call. He gets up and hugs everybody.
Every pick, he just picks up. Oh,
it's not?
Oh, again.
Oh, come on. What'd you say, Chris Paul's going to Golden State?
Yeah, Chris Paul got traded to the Golden State Warriors for Jordan Poole and some draft compensation. So Chris Paul with Steph Curry, that's...
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's going to come off the bench for them because that's kind of a weird move. I don't know if they're going to keep Chris Paul or they're going to do a contract buyout. We'll see.
Grizzlies got Marcus Smart.
Yeah, that was
Celtics.
A big trade
that was a big
night.
Deal. Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Kristaps Porzingis. Right.
Because that trade looked like it was going to fall apart, and because they were trying to get the Celtics involved, or not the Celtics, the Clippers involved. That part went away, but they made this Marcus Smart trade, which is pretty crazy. A lot of drama in the NBA. I like it.
And again, I don't know. Now, will you have any lucky shoes on or anything like that? Lucky sneaks?
No, I mean, this draft is not anything to
I understand.
get all that excited about.
Right.
But I mean, what am I wearing today? I'm wearing some baby blue Jordan 4s today.
But also, a 49th pick could end up being an amazing player.
You never know.
Tom Brady went deep in the draft, right?
Nikola Jokic was a second-round pick.
And listen, I don't know. You know me. I'm not Joe Sports. But you just don't meet a lot
I
of...
got to change your name in my phone. Add you in there as Joe Sports, and that's it.
It's not him.
Just add not in front of it. No. You don't meet a lot of, just in everyday life, you don't meet a lot of talented Kristapses at there. So for there to be an amazing athlete, Kristaps, it's a pretty big deal. Ethan in Rochester, New York.
Good afternoon, Mr. Allen. How are you?
How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. Well, I was. So I have a bone to pick with you or Mr. Dave iHeartMedia.
All right, sure. I'll be his cannon fodder.
Or at least just forward the message to him for me. Never in my entire life have I said, I need Joan Jett. But you boys, a couple of weeks ago, started talking about her and her monster camel toe, and now all I hear is, I love rock and roll, and it's terrible.
What do you mean?
All of a sudden, on the iHeartRadio app, all I hear is, I love rock and roll, every other song. And it's driving me insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I mentioned Joan Jett, you're saying?
Yes, sir. I don't know if the phone's listening to me. I don't know. But I'm a metal guy, and if I hear I love rock and roll one more time, I'm driving right off a cliff.
Like, are you listening to a specific station?
No, you're terrible. Oh, no, you're the worst.
You just killed this man, Alan. He said he's going to drive off a cliff.
He signed his own
Where's
death
all your
warrant.
empathy, Mr. Oh, I got all the empathy because I think billionaires dying sad.
I said quiet empathy is what I have. I've just signed Ethan's death warrant. Oh, Ethan.
No. Well, then, you know what? I'll see you guys in hell. Send nudes and hell Satan.
Right. Okay, thank you. There's Ethan up in Rochester, New York. He was with me. Yeah, how about do you want to touch? Yeah, do you want to touch? I remember
my big old
seventh grade in seventh grade.
Seventh grade and seventh grade. I remember
seventh grade and seventh grade. That was the first time, because I went to Catholic school, K through 12. Seventh grade is when they used to have these things called rec night, recreational night. Every school had them, right? You call them probably different things, but rec night is when you could go to the gym, and I'm sure I thought I was super cool. I probably had like a Motley Crue headband tied around my thigh or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it was when you got to hang out a little bit, co-ed. So Joan Jett was a huge deal back then. We're talking, I don't know, what year was I in the 8th grade? I mean, 1984, 83, around there. And Do You Want to Touch by Joan Jett, which was a cover song. All of her big hits initially were cover songs, right? But we knew what she was talking about. Do you want to touch me there? And she goes, you know where? And we were like, yeah, so when we're dancing with girls or whatever. Now, surprisingly enough, not one girl asked me if I wanted to touch her there. I wasn't setting the ladies on fire, but boy, this song, I was like, if this is in the background, I can't go wrong. There's going to be some subliminal messaging just by osmosis that's going to get these girls looking my way. They weren't looking my way. They were looking every other way. They weren't paying attention to AC. And this was decades before I was rescuing birds, so I didn't even have that going. They didn't even have that going for me. Yeah. Do you want to touch me there? And it can't go the other way. I couldn't ask the ladies if they wanted to touch me there.
Why not?
They wanted nothing to do with that. And plus, I had Sister Mary Elizabeth or whatever standing there in the background, one of the chaperones, and that's no good. It was very.
Why you ask her? If
it was
she
enemy
wanted to touch you
territory,
there?
man. What's that?
You should ask her if she wants you to touch her there.
Sister Mary Elizabeth?
Yeah.
I tried. Things did get desperate.
You think
mid-8th
all
grade.
the nuns had like just crazy big bushes?
We had
I
one.
don't shave.
We had one.
You're so gross.
No, but there's nothing. It's a valuable question. I mean, there's
and it's
nothing.
all sealed up too in
but-
their little.
Well, but
Sewn up.
there's nothing. They didn't take a vow of no hygiene. They just took a vow of chastity
It doesn't-
and
but
What's
poverty.
the point?
But yeah, what are they? What are
Because
they
it's
trimming up for?
uncomfortable.
I think they're probably just fine with it.
Depends on their
Stuffing
the
that
texture.
stuffing that boxwood into your granny panties. That can't be comfortable. There's nothing vulgar about. You're supposed to keep yourself clean in the eyes of the Lord, right?
But-
You're supposed to.
I bet
make yourself
I bet
presentable.
the nuns had huge bushes.
Ugh.
Well, you
and
might-
I bet because also like if it grows down past the legs, like trimming that up.
It's not how it goes.
Nuns don't wear bikinis, do they?
You've not seen the bushes I've seen.
It grows down,
Oh yeah,
straight down, like hair on your head.
not down, but I'm talking like on your legs.
They don't do the bikini.
Oh, you're
bikini
talking
line?
Yeah.
about like to the side.
Yeah, to the
I
sides.
thought you meant
No,
down,
not down,
to
like-
the inner thighs,
No,
like a
no,
wig.
no, no,
I was
no,
like,
Like
that's
no.
not how it
Gandalf's
grows.
beard?
No.
Right, I was like, that
No.
is not how it grows.
No, it grows.
Yes, to the sides.
to the sides.
Sure,
Yeah, that's what I'm
sure.
talking about.
like ivy.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
So I bet those nuns.
But in all my years of Catholic school, I don't recall anything in Scripture that prohibits
Thou shalt not
brides,
shave.
Yeah, but you
brides of Christ
but when-
from keeping
In the
themselves
olden days,
trimmed.
when you went to school, nobody was trimming their bush really anyway. So
I guess I
the-
didn't see a bush until freshman year.
yeah, I bet those nuns had big old bushes.
Well, I remember.
I bet they still do.
I remember I had a
I bet
nun.
nun. Like if you see a nun, ask her how big her bush is, please.
Don't do that.
I
do that.
remember. Listen, I might be an atheist, but I still maintain a healthy level of respect for people who have chosen to devote their lives. To,
I think it's a respectful question.
Good morning, sister. I just wanted to ask what the state of that bush is. See what condition your condition is in.
Mhm.
We
It
did
is,
have-
It's burning, actually.
I do remember one nun who showed up sophomore year, sister something, and she was because not all the nuns did the full habit at my high school, but this one did, and she spoke a lot of Italian. I don't think she was Italian, but I think she had been like with the Vatican or something, blah blah blah. And so she came to our school, and it was impossible to tell how old she was because she was wearing the full habit. We're talking 86, 87.
Mm-hmm.
But she was lovely, gorgeous. And so I'm like, this woman is either, because you don't know how old people are. I mean, 40 might as well be elderly when you're in high school. But I was like, this woman is either 25 or she's 60. Couldn't tell because I never saw her hair. There were zero context clues other than her face. That was the only thing. And to this day, I never determined how old this woman was, but I always got the indication that she was the youngest nun in school. And we had lay teachers too. It wasn't all clergy. But among the nuns, I got a distinct vibe that she was a generation ahead of the other nuns. She was a little hipper.
Yeah.
She was kind of cool with the kids.
So if there's anyone that had a trimmed bush, it was her.
That's what I'm saying.
I gotcha.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
see what you're.
But again, I didn't have the moxie to ask. I wasn't that guy. Hey, what's doing down there? I mean, I don't even know. I probably would have had to have asked her in Italian.
What do you?
Mi dispiace.
Hey,
What's up
sister,
with
you got a burning bush or you got a parted Red Sea?
Oh. What's up with a... No, that would have been so awful to ask. It would have been so impudent on my part to do that. So disrespectful. And I was still very Catholic then. Would never have done it. Would never even occurred to me to do it.
I think about it.
And frankly,
all those
before
ladies
you-
I went to church with probably all had huge bushes.
But before
too.
before you start seeing them and interacting with them, you don't care at all. You're just happy to be in the vicinity of them. It wouldn't matter at all. It wasn't like you were going, oh, because you had no frame of reference. I wasn't looking at Playboys and Hustlers. I was like, I want to see what's doing with a real life person. And it just took me a lot longer than I had anticipated. Hey, Brett.
Hello, how you doing?
What's going on?
Thanks for taking my call. So I got a Bush story.
Yeah. I like where this is going.
Bush Light. No. So growing up on the school bus, we had a local girl. She was older than us, actually, because she was mentally handicapped. And we'd go, throughout the years, we knew who she was because she was always on the bus. But she was older than us because she was in special ed or whatever. So we ended up going to the local pool, the city pool, and the girl was there. We'd see her there every once in a while. But one particular day, she was on the diving board. And I remember looking up at her, and she had a bush coming out of each side of the crotch area of her.
She had a one piece on.
It could have been. I don't remember. I just remember this bush coming out of each, and I felt so bad for her because her parents obviously weren't looking after her. So that was the Bush story that I was going to tell you. But with the same girl, though, another funny story with her. One day she got on a school bus, and she thought she was so happy. She was smiling, and she turned around. She was smiling, and she had put makeup on herself that morning, but it was lipstick, and it was all over her face, up her cheeks, on her teeth, and another episode where I kind of felt bad for her, but it was funny nonetheless.
All right.
Thanks for telling those
thank you,
stories.
Brett. I appreciate the thanks. Well, listen, those pool parties in 7th, 8th grade, those were kind of the first opportunity for a lot of us to even be in the vicinity of a girl who, especially in Catholic school, where they're we're all dressed up to our necks all the time. Speaking of Bush, they're coming for Buzzard Fest.
Yeah, see, it's all tying in.
August the 8th to
That's a big
Victory
Bush.
Sports Park. Gavin Rossdale. By the way, if you're a Bush fan, boy, it's a big summer for you because they're doing Incarceration. That last day of Incarceration. More passes for you for that tomorrow. And then they're doing Buzzard Fest, along with Live and Filter and Incubus and Welshly Arms. That's the only Bush I'm concerned with. Bill Burr tickets for you after the break. He's doing that Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium down in Canton in October, I think. So if you're a Bill Burr fan, a couple of tickets coming back. And then that next key that might fire up the Buzzard bike. We're giving away a custom Harley in a few weeks, but you got to get a key to qualify. So